Heyo, it's OmniDog here. I am live and I am on the air. I am an OmniBro in search of another OmniBro. That is right. Riley's late. He's getting his dog food and he's probably feeding his dog. But hey, it's 8:15. The show has to go on. So first, let's take a look at my Father's Day shirt. Check it out if you can. Spidey, Iron Man, a blue Hulk for some reason. Oh, here's Riley. Perfect. Perfect, dude.
We're live.
That's right. So don't say anything you wouldn't normally say.
Like shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker.
We have Emily's mom in the chat, so be careful.
No! It's a horrible first impression.
Are you sitting on the floor cross-legged?
Yeah.
God, I can't do that. I can't even get my knees to bend that far.
I'm doing it to show off.
You're showing me off, man.
Yeah, I'm like, you old man.
That's right. Oh my God, I can't even get down on the floor barely. But before we keep going with talking about Riley and his Indian style of sitting, which is probably politically incorrect to say now, let's talk about InStockTrades.com. InStock Trades, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2 to 3% off that. Every quarter gets you an Omnibrosllive discount. Orders of $50 or more in the United States get you free shipping, fabulous packaging, and fabulous customer service. That's InStockTrades.com. And my guest host, not my guest host, my regular host, here's Ryleymo. Riley, how's it going?
Good. Just trying to get this microphone to
You sound
work.
fine.
I don't know what's going on, but the headset's not working right, but whatever.
Oh, I can hear you fine. Oh, no. Are you talking to me through your computer?
Yeah. I was trying to set it up with the headset so we could make it a little bit better, but it's not. Oh, got it.
Right on, man.
There we go. Should be starting pretty soon now. Yeah, so I got my dog food. That is not just dog food. That is just regular dog food.
Right. We are going to be talking about regular just food, though. Riley, what's the 3 favorite food groups of everybody are tacos, pizza, and hamburgers. Which is your favorite?
Oh man, that's one of those depends on my mood thing, and depends on which restaurant it is. But I think that most of the times, more often than not, I'm gonna lean towards hamburgers.
That's good, because that's what tonight's episode is about, along with how to hunt for hard-to-find out-of-print books.
What about hard-to-find out-of-print burgers?
Those are probably moldy and old, so you don't want to eat them.
Golden moldies.
Golden moldies, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I suggested the burger episode. I thought it was on topic because didn't y'all talk about candy yesterday?
Yeah, we did. The whole episode was candy bars.
Well, number 1, you talked about candy yesterday without me. Number 2, who loves burgers? So many people love burgers. Jughead loves burgers. What's the dude that says
Wimpy.
Yeah, Wimpy. I'll give you or what is it? I'll pay you Tuesday for a burger today.
Exactly, from Popeye.
Yeah, so that's relevant.
You're not finding me disagreeing.
Now, I'd find it hard pressed to that you would say anything other than that your favorite fast food type burger is from In-N-Out.
That is true.
And for me personally, being a young gun from the grand state of Texas.
Yeah, you have some great burger joints there.
And I have to say my favorite fast food joint is Whataburger.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you tried some Whataburger out here. Did you get just a straight up burger when you were here?
I think I got something with sourdough bread, like a it was like a grilled sourdough bread with a burger and the cheese. It was really good. I can't think of what it's called though.
Was it
Texas toast,
was it
patty melt.
Oh, the patty melt. Yeah, I was
Mighty.
gonna say Monterey melt, but yeah, patty melt.
It may have been the Monterey melt or the patty melt, whichever it was good.
It has like a white cheese on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, for a while, we were going, and every time we would go to Whataburger, which is, I'd say, too often for someone who's trying to be on a diet, I would get their limited right now item that they added back on the menu is their buffalo chicken strip sandwich. And I adore like buffalo chicken. I don't care a lot for buffalo, but when you take the sauce that you pull from a buffalo and you put it on a chicken, because I'm assuming that's why they call that sauce buffalo sauce, is, you know, the red spicy stuff.
Yeah, that's what they regurgitate, that red spicy stuff.
If you punch them in the nads, they throw up
red spicy stuff.
It's like a Red Lantern. They're just angry all the time, spitting out plasma. I bet Red Lanterns are actually spitting out buffalo sauce. Anyway, I love buffalo stuff, buffalo chicken wings, buffalo whatever. And when I was probably in high school, I remember searching everywhere, high and low, for the best buffalo chicken sandwich. And I found a few good ones. And then Whataburger came, 10 years too late, and smacked me in the face with this new one. And it's just, I want to say it's just glorious, but there's a caveat. They don't use enough buffalo sauce. So what I have to do is I either have my own bottle of Whataburger brand buffalo sauce in my fridge,
right,
or I order a side of buffalo sauce and I just pour it on there. Because for me, buffalo chicken, whether it be wings, strips, a chicken breast patty, it needs to be completely engulfed in the sauce. Like, you toss it in there, but what they do is they kind of pour it on top as a topping, and that doesn't fly with this hombre. So I grab more and I do the tossing myself, but they have their buttermilk ranch on there, and then it has the same white cheese from the patty melt, and it's a beautiful thing. And I was ordering those way too often. I think I had 3 within a week, and I was like, you know what, too much of a good thing. I'm just gonna wait until next year when they bring it back to have more. And I started just getting classic burgers again, and they're double with cheese. I used to add bacon and jalapeno, but just keeping it simple, double with cheese, is just phenomenal. And there's something about the way they cook the burger and the way they let that cheese just melt over the patties, taste of their onions and pickles, the way they chop their lettuce. It's not like overwhelming slice of crunchy water on top of my burger. It's magnificent. And a lot of other positive adjectives to describe this burger.
Well, Megan's not within earshot, is she?
No, she's not.
Because I'm going to say something that will really piss her off.
Are you going to say something about P. Terry?
I am. And I know your wife hates it there, but I went there when I came out to visit you. And I was in Austin. I was there for a good few days, and I tried Whataburger, and I tried P. Terry's, and I did like P. Terry. I thought it was a good, solid, tasty burger, and I was surprised that the venom that would come out of Megan about it. She hates it with a passion, but I really enjoyed it.
I think that a large part of that is not just her distaste for P. Terry and their burgers, but it's how much she is loyal to and loves Whataburger.
Okay.
It's like those things that every Texan is or should be loyal to. It's, Selena, Whataburger, and probably several other things. And, she's like, does not falter. No other burger restaurant, fast food burger restaurant, she will not. And we've had P. Terry several times, and I think it's a decent fast food burger. But my issue with P. Terry, and for anyone watching who's completely oblivious, that's a Austin burger chain that they pride themselves in serving very high quality meats and stuff. You know, I'm sure it's all hippy dippy organic shit, but oh, one of my lights is going out. They're too expensive for the quality, in my opinion. Like it's a fine burger, and I've eaten many of them, but it's not very big. Number one. Number two, it's for my buck, it's not worth it over getting something cheaper or something better, i.e., Whataburger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thing, and I think that for her, it's just, you know, that venom, so to say, spins out of her extreme loyalty for Whataburger and just like accept no substitutes at all. So like even when we'll like be, for instance, one night we were at this wine bar, and we're at this wine bar, and right outside the wine bar was a P. Terry, and you walked outside and you could smell their fries, and we're just like engulfed in that greasy fry smell. And she's like, man, I can really go for some fries. And I was like, yeah, man, I could too. Like, that smells really good. And then I was like, did you want to just walk over to P. Terry and grab, you know, some fries? And she looked at me like I was fucking stupid. And she's like, no, you need to, we're going to drive somewhere else. We'll go to Whataburger. I'm not getting, I'm like, it's right here. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Sorry, my daughter just called me. I had to tell her I was on the air.
Gotcha. I didn't want to leave a lot of dead air, so I just kept...
Sorry about that. This is where I tell you that I love In-N-Out so much that my friend and comic book advisor, Damien, is a pilot for United Airlines. And he got me on a United Airlines flight to LA last November, somewhere in there, and we for $100 round trip. And we got out, we left Washington, D.C. first thing, like 6 a.m. Monday morning, flew out to LA, ate it In-N-Out twice, and then flew straight back. And that's how much I love In-N-Out. I had it for lunch and I had it for dinner, and then we flew back. Cost me $100 round trip because he's a pilot. And I guess it's free for him. But and then we spent our time looking around comic book stores, which actually leads into our other topic, which we may or may not get to, how to hunt for out-of-print comics. But I love everything about In-N-Out. You waxed poetic about Whataburger, and I thought it was appropriate. I love the toasted bun at In-N-Out. I love that I get mine with chopped chilies and mustard grilled. I get a double chop. I don't like it animal style. I know that's the big secret ingredient, but animal style is too gloppy. I get it with chopped chilies, mustard grilled, double, extra toast, which is extra toasted. And if I'm not eating sugar, but if I was, I'd get a Neapolitan shake, which is all three flavors in one shake. And I always get my fries extra well done, because In-N-Out is not famous for their fries, and they shouldn't be. They're not done enough. So you got to get them well done. I always order well done fries there.
It's a good pro tip right there.
Yeah.
Because I have that issue with In-N-Out fries in that I feel like they're too spongy. And
Yeah,
I guess that's what it is. Because I
Mhm.
like my fries to have that crispy snap when you bite into them.
Mm-hmm. You got to get them extra done. You got order them well done, and
That's a
then
good
they
tip.
come out perfect.
No, I used to work right across the street from an In-N-Out, so I would go over there every month or so, just if I was really hungry. Because usually I bring my food, but every time I would get the fries and be like, dang it, just a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
But that's a good tip. Too bad I'm not working next to the In-N-Out anymore. I'm working next to nothing now, so there is nothing for me to do out there except bake in the heat. But anyway, yeah, we can take a little bit of a hiatus on the burger talk and then talk about some comics. But I think that it'd be interesting to come back to burgers and maybe talk about more of the high-end burgers, not just fast food burgers.
Okay. I am from the home of Five Guys. Five Guys originated here in
Oh,
Virginia, in Alexandria, where I live. So I am well versed in Five Guys too.
I am a big fan of Five Guys. Just to mention for a moment, when I worked at GameStop, we were right next door to a Five Guys and next door to a Barnes and Noble. So it was like all the essentials were right there: books, games, burgers. And I would go over there so often, and it was cool because the guys that worked there, a couple of guys, would come into GameStop all the time, and we would, hook them up however we could, giving them the free promo items or posters that we had. It was something they were interested in, holding games for them whenever they came in. And then they would hook us up with like unlimited fries for free.
Ooh, we
And
got to
they
get those
have
fries well
good
done too. They
fries.
do. I still like my fries well done at In-N-Out.
I also like not always, but I also do like sometimes to get the Cajun fries with the extra spice on them.
Mmm. I think the best thing is how customizable your Five Guys can come.
Yeah.
You can get it plain. I always like fried onions or sauteed onions on my burger,
Uh-huh.
and dill pickle chips and mustard, and that's it.
And
That's
their
what I really
pickles are thick motherfuckers. Those are
Yeah.
like double the thickness of a Del Dixie pickle chip. So that's I like that. I really like that. But anyway, comic books and then Return of the Burger.
Okay. Good.
So hunting down rare comics that's kind of a thing that led to the creation, the birth of the Facebook group, the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap, whatever. Because I got pretty fed up with, not just for myself but for other people, seeing people like looking at prices of stuff and being just like, why the hell is this so expensive? And I, before starting the group, and I mentioned this a lot online, like on my page and stuff, that I would never buy things for over cover price. I had a really serious disdain for that. I'm like, I'm not going to support people selling things for over cover price. So I was like, I've been really successful in finding things and having people help me find things for cover or less, only having had one book ever bought for over cover price, and that was Starman Omnibus Volume 3, and I didn't even buy it myself. My dad got it for me for something. So that I had been successful in finding a lot of hard to find and rare books. And I thought, I want other people to have that same mentality of like, we don't have to spend more than cover.
Mm-hmm.
So before the group, I hope that a lot of people can say has made it a little easier to find some things. Maybe not the whaliest whales in the world, like Uncanny X-Force and Annihilation, but I think that it's at the very least people can say that it's helped them to find some, quote, whalettes and stuff, like paperbacks and stuff that are hard to find. And I know that I've received a lot of help from people who have joined the group in finding those things. But without the group, without that resource, there's two main branches of hunting for rare comics. The first one, and the one that most of us are probably going to use as our primary branch, is online shopping, which online shopping makes the second branch in-store shopping. Most people forget that this branch exists. So we focus on the online shopping. And the problem with forgetting about in-store shopping is you are made victim to the oftentimes artificially inflated prices. And if you don't know, not saying just that you don't know, but if anyone doesn't know, there are algorithms on, say, Amazon, where these stores that might not even necessarily have these books in stock will compete against each other, and these bots will automatically raise the price as another store raises their price. and those bots will artificially inflate the price. And that's how sometimes you'll find a random book that has, you know, the most expensive copy at thousands of dollars, because these stupid computers artificially have bumped up the price. Now, it's out of print, and there are people that might buy this $100 book for $200-300, and that might be a realistic price that you can track by seeing eBay sales, but these just astronomical prices are not realistic. And there's some books that I've seen that if you look at closed eBay sales, you won't often see them selling, like maybe a few have sold for those higher prices, but oftentimes you'll see them selling for the lower price point that not a lot of people will list them for. And it's all at the fault of those artificial prices. And that really is a part that sets us behind in trying to track down these books. And the most that you can do when going online is checking every resource. And, you know, outside of our group, there's, you know, Comic Swap on Reddit. There's other Facebook groups. And then, of course, just setting up notifications for yourself on eBay to let you know when things start popping up, because you never know one day. And I had something actually just recently pop up for myself. You never know one day when something's going to pop up for a price that's lower than you're expecting to see it at. That might be cover, around cover, or less than cover, or maybe a listing that someone's just not paying attention to. And you'll see that price pop up. So it's, you know, important to set up those notifications. And I know that, for instance, Brooks in the group, that's how he keeps finding these deals, is he has those kind of notifications set up. So he's always being pinged when stuff pops up, and he's gracious enough to spend his time notifying everyone else and posting them on the group. Hey, this one's here for this price. This one's here for this price. So that's a big, you know, pointer if you're wanting to shop online. But if you really want to get the best deals, and if you really want to find rare books, and this is more Jess's expertise because he gets out, despite how antisocial you say you are, you get out and you go to every shop that's ever existed, and you bring back all of the whales and all of the whalettes that you can find, because you actually go to brick and mortar stores. So I think I can say a few things about that, but I think you have the most to say about brick and mortar hunting.
Yeah, well, it's mostly shoe leather. I mean, you mostly have to be willing to go out and beat the bushes. I started out, I don't know, four years ago, probably just before the Omnibus group was formed, which has been a great resource for me, because I got this on the Omnibus group and for cover price. So I have very popular feelings about the Omnibus group.
Which book was it? Sorry, I glanced away for a second.
It's Frankenstein, Bernie Wrightson. I found a great guy, Jesus Enriquez, who got it for me for cover. And I mean, that's part of the beauty of the Facebook group. But I started out in a wide swath in my area, just trying to find smaller comic book stores that had a lot of collected editions. This is when I moved away from floppies into collected editions. And so I was willing to drive an hour or two, and sometimes 3. I've gone to Charlottesville, Virginia, which is 3 hours away, and I found a ton of stuff in Charlottesville. And in the future, I'm willing to go to North Carolina. Maybe eventually I'll go to South Carolina, but I will give North Carolina a try. And some of the inner parts of Virginia, like Western Virginia, that I haven't gone to yet. But also up to Baltimore 2 Saturdays ago with Fangirl, and we visited 5 comic book shops, and she found a ton of stuff, because one of the stores had 50% off everything. And so she not only got whalettes, she just got nice books, and it was like 40% off statues. So she pulled in like 4 or 5 statues. But I found waylettes is what I'm more likely to find. At this point, I'm not going to find Annihilation or Uncanny X-Force, but I am going to be able to find a lot of waylettes. Like I found Catwoman Volume 2, found that. Hitman Volume 2, Wolverine Ultimate Collection by Rucka, and this first Spectre that I've been something I've been really looking for, this Ostrander first Spectre, and it was just sitting there in a suburb of Baltimore comic shop, and a lot of times there will be sales. So you just have to be willing to, if you're taking a trip, it does help if you're married. If you're single and out on the road, it doesn't matter. But if you're married, it helps if you have a spouse that's willing to let you go in there for like 20 minutes and you know what you're looking for. Boom, 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 boom. If you're going to wander for an hour, your spouse is not likely to approve unless somehow you got a spouse that collects comics. I don't know that. I don't know any collector that has a spouse that collects comics. So if there's any in the chat, speak up if you have a wife that collects comics. Or you're a woman and you have a husband that collects comics. And then I went out to, I was alone when I went out to visit friends in California and then my sister in Oregon. And since I was alone, I pounded Northern California. I went to 5 stores in Sacramento. I went to I did not, I went to stores in the East Bay area and found some stuff with Bon Idlehouse and James Dayrit. Then I went to Portland. I went to visit my sister in Oregon, so I drove 5 hours up to Portland to spend the day with Nate. And we went on a monumental hunt. He took me to 8 stores that day.
Jeez.
And we just raked stuff in. He found stuff that didn't even have a barcode on it. It was so old and so rare. I think he found this Lobo slipcase or something that didn't even have a barcode on it. We were trying to look at it and see if we could find it on Amazon to see any information about it, and we couldn't even get any information about it. So you have to be willing to drive. Like, not everybody, I'm insane, so that helps. Like, I spent 5 hours in the car to spend the day in Portland and then spent 5 hours coming back. And I spent all that time in Sacramento, and that's when I posted, I mean, that was the Great Western Omni Haul of 2016 when I posted, you know, I sent out from my sister's house, I must have sent out 30 boxes to people from the Omnibus group that I found books for. And don't get me wrong, I'm not doing this strictly out of the kindness of my heart. If I find something that I don't have, I'm going to keep it first. But I mean, I found 2 copies of Cowboy Ninja Viking oversized hardcover. I kept one for myself, and then I put the other one up in the group. So you sort of, if you can, there's a thing called, I think it's called Comic Shop Locator on the internet, and you just punch in the zip code you're going to go to, and it tells you every comic book store in the area. And yet, not every comic book store you're going to go to will have collected editions or be any good. So you have to be willing to find a lump of coal before you find all the diamonds, because even when I went on the Great Western Omni Tour, I found a couple of dud stores that just, I don't even know how they stay in existence out there. They barely had anything to speak of, like floppies or trades. So you have to have the mentality of, and not everybody's, I don't know, I'm unusual because I like finding stuff. To me, that's the most fun part of the hobby, is finding the rare out of print book. And if I can hook somebody up with it, I will. It's just a question of, you don't have to get in an airplane. You just have to get in your car, drive 2 hours, go to the local comic book store, and you'd be surprised, because I drove an hour to meet up with Fangirl in Baltimore, and we found stuff in almost every store. And I was with my wife in Charlottesville. I parked outside of a shop, and she said, "Okay, you have half an hour, go." And I said, "Okay." I went in there and I found crazy stuff like Plague of Frogs 3 and 4 hardcover, and BPRD Vampire, and Wolverine and the X-Men. This was a while ago. They were still hard to find. But I mean, that stuff is out there. I remember just a couple days ago, a guy named John Hernandez in the group just went to his local comic shop. I think he lives in Washington, the state of Washington. And he just went to his local comic store, and I can't remember the whale he found, but he found like a whale, like something crazy, like Inferno or something. Although I think he's more of a DC guy, but I can't think of a super whale right now that's DC, since Infinite Crisis has been reprinted. He did find something, so it's worth haunting your local comic shops just in case, and then spread out. And the other thing that I have learned, I formed the group the Omnipups on the Omnibus page, which is Raleigh Smith and Kemi Jacob and Titus and Eric, Titus Kiramana and Eric Federchik. And these guys all live to go out and find stuff for people. And so we're always interacting and trying to find stuff for people. I think Kemi just found you Red Lanterns 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to send him some cash for that.
Yeah. So the group can help if you, and Raleigh's really good. Raleigh Smith is really good at half-price books. That is like, he is the king of half-price books. That's where I've actually found some really good books, because you really, all you need is the ISBN number, and you type it into half-price books, and a lot of times it comes up ridiculous, you know, like Uncanny X-Force, $300. But then you use the 50% off coupon that comes twice. I think it comes twice a year. I'm not positive. Raleigh knows better than I do. And you can find deals at half-price books. And Eric is the king of Craigslist. He has a tool that he uses to search far and wide for omnis and hardcovers on Craigslist. He found Wolverine, the big Claremont Miller Wolverine, for Raleigh in Annapolis. And I went to Annapolis and got it for him, because it's only an hour away. But I got it for Raleigh. But that's how Eric finds a lot of his books, is through Craigslist. And I know that Clark Nato already made a comment about Craigslist in a back alley, but we met in a parking lot of a shopping mall, and I gave him the cash. He gave me the book, and that was it. We barely said hello. But now that I think about it, I think Eric sent me a thing, or somehow I found something on Craigslist. I did find my Uncanny X-Force on Craigslist. Wait, am I saying, is it? Yeah, it's Uncanny X-Force, right? That's the one that's out of print. It's not right in front of me, so I'm clutching on the name. Maybe it's under X for X-Force. But I found that, and something else some guy had put up on Craigslist for cover price. And they weren't sealed, but they were in perfect condition. So I bombed out. It was an hour out to Leesburg, and I bombed back. But it's worth hunting on Craigslist, as long as you are careful. I think you need to be very careful. You need to meet in an open spot, public spot during the day. It's a lot different than going in the store, so be cautious and be careful, but you can find deals on Craigslist too.
So the moral of the story here is it's the easier way to do stuff is by searching online.
Yeah, you got to pound the pavement if you're like me.
Yeah, because like you can search online and you'll more than likely eventually you'll find something. But the problem with searching online is that the internet obviously is open to anyone, and anyone can be finding the things that you're finding. So if you find that thing, you've got to jump on it quick because you don't know what's going to happen. You also have to know how to use resources and how to, use what's at your disposal online to find these things. If you're searching, I think that, as you pointed out, it's much more likely that you'll benefit from going to local shops, going to brick and mortar stores, and going in and looking around and trying to find what they have. Because something I've noticed is that oftentimes those brick and mortar stores, the books that I'll find there, they might be there one time, but they weren't there the previous time that I was there. So it's not always the fact that like, this copy of whatever fucking book has been on the shelf, people have just been walking by it all the time. It might be that they had some back stock in their back room that they just haven't put out yet. Or, if they have an employee library or something where, they let their employees borrow books to read. Or if, they buy old collections and someone bought someone's big collection of trades and they put them out there. Because I know shops do that as well. So it's worth it to sometimes revisit stores as well, because I've definitely found something one time that wasn't there before and been really surprised. The one thing you have to hope for is that you're not going to go into one of those stores where you take the rare book to the counter and the guy looks it up on eBay and then tells you like, oh, Inferno is going to be $250. And that's the part that upsets me. And that part doesn't make sense to me, because if, Joe Schmo running that shitty store is really so concerned with making an extra buck on that book, he could have bought it himself with an employee discount and sold it if he wanted to. Or if it's the owner of the store, they could have just sold it online if they wanted. But they're not concerned until someone is actually there and interested in it.
Yeah, and they cost themselves sales, which is money they could churn back into the business to make their store better. If you've got a copy of Wolverine sitting there for $300 for 2 years, instead of selling it for $150 and taking that money right away and putting it in the store, it's just sitting there. It's just inventory that doesn't move.
Right. Yeah, you're letting that that's scared money. That's what it is. It's scared money. You're scared to make money if you're just watching that book sit there. So that's kind of why it never made sense to me, is you literally have someone that's like giving you cash in hand for this book and you're saying no because after 3 years you're still waiting for someone to offer you the price that you're asking. If I wanted to buy, Wolverine by Claremont Omnibus for $300, I would have ordered it online a long time ago and not have to deal with driving out to a store and dealing with some asshole who's trying to charge me too much in person. I can deal with some asshole who's trying to charge me too much online and sit on my couch and wait for it to come in. But I've not been to too many shops that do that. And I found my Inferno at a shop in Dallas, just sitting on the shelf. I found, I found the Question Volume 1 at a Half Price Books for $10. Just a location that I visit every few months. And I found it there, and that was astonishing to me.
Right.
So many of these books.
That's a huge book.
That was, not only was it a book that I'd been looking for a long time, and not only did I get it, but I got it for undercover, which was the part that really astonished me. Because, and that's the thing about half-price books, is oftentimes, and it really, really depends on location. Oftentimes the locations will know exactly what they have, and they have employees who are smart and smart enough to do the things that I don't want them to do, and find out the value of these books and put inflated price tags on them, and they'll even write on their OOP. Like, they know what they're doing. And there are some locations that maybe that person that knows about comics was not in the day that they took in those books, and they processed this book and they're like, oh, okay, it's a $20 book, slap a $10 price tag on it, put it on the shelf. And any one of us sits there and screams, oh my God, how did you just not catch that?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because a lot of locations don't treat comic books the same way they do other books. So I've gone to locations that have, oh, here's a first print of fucking the Jungle Book for $1,000. And they know that is worth something, but then they don't realize that, these comics and stuff actually have that intrinsic value that people have, put on them.
Now, Forgerelli brings up a good point, that maybe the person paid $100 for the book and wants a return on their investment. I'm not arguing at all against the capitalist system. I mean, this is the United States. This is how we make money. My argument is overpricing a book. I think you need to find if you're running a business, you need to find a price point that's going to get that book out and get you cash back in with a reasonable return on investment in the soonest amount of time. I don't think people are automatically jerks that want overcover, since they may have paid overcover for their books and they want a return on investment. I agree. My argument is that it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint to overprice it so much that it just sits there forever.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
I got no issue with capitalism at all.
If it's going to sell, like if you put something out there and someone's like, boom, bought it. But if it sits there, a $100 book for $300 and it sits there for years, like we're saying, then something's not right. Something's not working. And I think it's kind of dumb to sit there for years and just think one day the right customer will come along. Because they're probably not going to. Because oftentimes comic shops survive off of the repeat business from people that have seen that book since it first got there. So,
right.
Joe Schmo walking in is probably not going to be concerned with that book. And when they see that price tag, they're not going to be, all about picking it up. So I have a little bit more sour feelings than you do for people trying to get over cover, but I think that's well known.
Yeah, but I get it.
But yeah, in this case, in this scenario, I think that the main problem is someone sitting there for letting the book sit there for years, because you're just at what point do you give in? Like, I could go out there and try to sell my car and say, I think that my car is worth this much. And everyone else tells me, like, I'm not willing to pay this much. I'm willing to pay this much. And I'm not budging. And I'm sitting there trying to sell my car forever. Like, I'm going to lower the price. I'm trying to sell my car. I'm not trying to sit on it and go get another car and just have it sitting there gathering dust and the engine, stop working. I'm trying to sell my car. It's capitalism. It's business. I'm trying to get it out the door, not out the door, because I don't have my car inside my house. But you get the picture of what I'm saying. But for me, I don't have the same luxury of free time to, because I get very limited time to myself.
Right. Yeah, my situation's different than everybody else's.
So, and a lot of people have the same situation like you, where you do get the ability to drive around and you can take a few days and do that. And that's why a lot of us will kind of take advantage of the fact that you can do that. And, but for myself, I get 2 days a week, half the time Saturday and Sunday, the other half the time a weekday and Sunday, that I get to run around and do whatever I want. And usually doing whatever I want consists of doing things I don't want, like chores. So I don't have time to even spend that time running out. So every few months, on one of my random days off during the week, because my wife's not around, I drive to about 4 different spots around the city. and I hit up, several different half price books locations. I hit up Austin Books and Comics, which is the biggest shop, my favorite shop in Austin, and then the Austin Books and Comics Sidekick store, which is a half off store that oftentimes has, because it's just their like, that's their back stock store. They're like, oh, we had this crap in the back that we're not selling. Here it is for half off. And I've found some really cool stuff over there for half off. Some stuff that goes for a lot more than cover price. So I do that every few months just to kind of like see what I can find. And I usually come out with a few things like The Question Volume 1 or some random volumes of manga that I was looking for. And that kind of feeds my appetite for doing that. Excuse me, doing the brick and mortar stuff. But what I make sure to do, and you kind of touched up on this, is if you're already going to be out of town, if I'm already going to be out of town, I make sure to hit up as many stores as I can. Mm-hmm. Usually because I don't want to occupy my entire vacation with me and my wife, with me trying to stop in every store possible. And yes, there's that, quantum mechanics, I guess, would state that I don't know if the book exists unless I see whether it's there or not. Like, so as I'm in, this place where I'm in vacation, I can think like, the Silver Surfer Omnibus both exists and doesn't exist at every single store until I check it myself. And I have had that mentality, especially when I'm in New York, because we're walking all over the place and I'm like, fuck it, I'm right next to 3 shops. I'm going to pop in each of those. And I'll have that mentality sometimes in places like that. But oftentimes I don't want to keep that kind of mentality because I don't want my wife to get upset that I'm spending our entire vacation shop hopping, so to say, trying to look for stuff that she realizes now. She's like, why do you even want to go? You never find anything. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to upset you. So usually I'll pick one day and I'll pick one stop, unless there's another one that's right there. But I have one day, one stop, and I'll go in and I'll look around, and usually she's right. I don't find anything. But every once in a while, like that time I was visiting her family in Dallas and I found Inferno, and right there, that makes it worth it. Mm-hmm. Or I was also in Dallas another time. I just need to stay in Dallas, I feel like. But I was in Dallas another time and I found Volume 2 of Fantastic Four by Wade, which is inconsequential now. But at the time, that was...
Oh, right. I remember that.
That was a pretty big deal.
That was, yeah. That was a very hard to find book.
So that's my strategy, is just making sure that if I'm going to be somewhere new, to take a little bit of time to go and look at something. And now my next trip, which is coming in October, is we're going to Maui, and there's a comic shop that a couple people in the group helped me to track down. It's the only shop in Maui, and it's like 10 minutes from where we're going to be staying. So it's not too far out of the way. And I told my wife, and she was like, yeah, eat your heart out. Just go do whatever you want. Like one day, because I wake up 2 hours earlier than her naturally every day. She's like, one day when you wake up, just go on out there, look around, come back. I'll be on the beach, or I'll have breakfast ready for us, whatever. Like, and we'll rendezvous after you finish. Like, it doesn't take any time from her day. So it's good. And I get to go check and see what's out there. And honestly, even if I don't find anything, I get to go hang out at a Hawaiian comic shop. And I think that's pretty neat.
I like the sound of breakfast on the beach. That sounds awesome.
I'm excited because I'm going to eat a lot of Spam.
I love Spam, and Spam, Hawaiians love Spam.
Yeah, Spam musubi is their thing. It's like it looks like a big old sushi with the rice and So I'm going to be eating a ton of different Spam and Spam related dishes. I'm probably going to come back so swollen that my ring will not come off of my finger for a week. But I don't know. I'm excited. But yeah, that's, those are the best, I guess, advice that I can say. The number one thing is, from me, the point I want to make is, yeah, it's easy to do shopping online in your underwear, but put in the extra legwork, be like Jess, drive around, find things, and if you're a part of the group, you probably have made a lot of friends in the group, which is amazing, and I'm happy that has happened. And just like Jess, you can go meet up with those friends and y'all can go have a field day, and that's so much more fun when you have someone else to go shopping with, because then it's much more fun to have someone at your back and you just like looking and someone being like, oh man, isn't that one? And then someone else be like, oh man, yeah, that one. It's a lot more of a fun interactive experience to have someone with you. So I don't know. I guess that's what I have to say about rare book hunting.
Me too.
Oh, I was going to mention recently, because I've gotten to the point with my Western books where I'm only pretty much 100% buying new things as they come out. So I'm using this opportunity now that I'm kind of caught up with my backlog, or I've just decided to not buy old paperbacks because everything gets reprinted now in bigger editions. I've decided to focus more on my Eastern stuff, and that's why I have so much more influx of manga. I just recently, I recently passed 1,000 books of manga.
Whoa!
But by past, I mean I shot past because I think I bought 50 to 60 books in this past month of manga alone, because I found so many just unbelievable deals, and I sold a bunch of stuff too. So I was like, bring it on. And one of the things that I found was a series that no one gives a shit about, apparently, except for me, and that's Ultimate Muscle, which is the dumbest, poop-filled fighting manga series ever. Poop joke filled, because they always make poop jokes, and I love poop jokes. So anyway, it's dumb. It's a classic series, and I started to track it down, and it is so hard to find these books for undercover price. Most of them. A lot of them go for, not most of them, maybe like a third to half of them go for overcover price. The other ones go for like a few bucks, so it's not a big deal. But I found someone selling like 14 volumes out of 29, and I got them for a steal for much less than cover price. But the real part that was insane to me, especially in retrospect, is I got the first 10 volumes minus the most rare of those, which is volume 7, for $50. So, about $5 a pop. And if you look up on eBay, like Ultimate Muscle volumes 1, 2 individually, most of those first 10 volumes go for, 50 plus. Some of them I think close to $100 for a $7.99 book. So I got those books, that stack of books for $50, and I knew I had gotten a deal when I got it. But looking for those books now, because I'm constantly trolling eBay, because volume 7 is a $150 book and volume 13 is a $40 book. So I'm constantly trolling eBay for those, and I keep seeing popping up like volume 4, $50. And I'm like, oh shit, I can't believe I got that in a lot for so cheap. So, you never know what you're going to find online. You will find those good lots, people who don't really know or don't really care, selling that kind of shit. And you just gotta, take a chance. But anyway, Hamburgers.
Okay.
So,
what do you consider high-end hamburgers?
So let's just say not fast food burgers, and not exactly high end, because I don't want to say like some hoity-toity restaurant where their burger is covered with caviar aioli, or something, and has gold flake crusted buns, because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for
like a sit-down restaurant,
an actual sit-down place, not a dollar menu place.
Right.
So, and I know some of the, I'm gonna take a step back and talk about a fast food joint that everyone loves to hate, and that's McDonald's. And I went to McDonald's recently because they supplied me with a few coupons, and I'm a sucker for coupons. And they had these really, just from the advertisements, tasty looking burgers, and they're really, really trying. I will say that.
Yeah.
to make something, and they have these signature burgers, and I'm not gonna rate them anywhere near even, you know, my favorite fast food being, again, Whataburger. But for a McDonald's burger, these signature burgers that they're doing are not terrible as I remember McDonald's. Like, they've done something there.
Hmm.
They're definitely trying to push themselves out of being the joke burger and into being something noteworthy, or at least slightly noteworthy. I don't know. I don't want to give them too much credit, but
Like, what's in? I haven't been to McDonald's since my daughter was 6. And
so
that was
there's
21 years ago.
I mean, typically you're getting a quarter pounder with cheese or double quarter pounder, Big Mac. Like, those are the things that you typically get. And I think they changed the beef. They changed it from, you know, frozen beef to being fresh beef instead. So that's always a good thing, and it's always something that you're wondering, why wouldn't you just do that in the first place? I mean, I know it makes sense because they have so many In-N-Out people that they don't want to throw out patties, so they're going to have them frozen, but it does affect the quality quite a bit. And so you can tell right now, if you were to just go and get a quarter pounder with cheese, like, the burger meat tastes of higher quality. But they've introduced the select burgers, and they add different toppings, and it's these, you know, trying to be a little more frou-frou. So they have one that's like a garlic and white cheddar, I think. It has a slice of white cheddar on it because white cheddar is fancier than yellow cheddar, I guess. And then a garlic sauce and these like garlic chips. And it was pretty decent. If you like garlic, it's very garlicky.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that it was kind of garlicky in the kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, fake garlic taste.
Farlick.
Yeah. Folic. And then they have another one is a barbecue burger, which I wasn't too enthralled by because every joint has a barbecue burger, so I don't really care. It was barbecue bacon, pretty standard toppings for a burger. I'm pretty sure they just used their standard barbecue sauce and then added some bacon. The bacon was pretty crispy, which I like because I don't like limp bacon on my burger. I want the bacon on there, add a crunch. It was decent. It also had those little like fried onion things that you put on top of your Thanksgiving green bean casserole. Yeah,
Green bean casserole gives me shivers.
So those are on there as well. But then the one that I really dug, and I had this one twice because I had 2 coupons, so don't judge me. But it was a pico and guacamole burger. And the first time I was like, eh, but the second time they did something that just sets me off. They included a lime wedge, and I love lime on everything. Like, when I make guacamole, I put so much lime in there, you might as well just be eating a chunky lime sauce. But the first one I got, I was like, this is decent, but they added a lime wedge, and that just sets it over the top. And I was like, McDonald's, you get me now, man. And you can get it with chicken too. So you can, if you'd rather have that, you can get it with chicken. But anyway, better burgers. Now we talked about Five Guys, and Five Guys is dope as hell. And that's kind of, they're moving into, from fast food into, because it's a sit-down restaurant, but it still has that fast food diner feel to it. And you get, like, one of my favorite things about any type of good burger is how freaking greasy it is. And you get that greaseball burger that when you get the burger and fries in your brown sack, it becomes, you know, opaque. Like, you can start seeing through that brown sack. And it's like so disgustingly awesome. And I know that I'm about to be in for a good meal. And it's like, when I was growing up and the kids, it was usually the little girls in my class who were like, I'm going to try and eat healthier, and they dab their pizza with the paper towel or whatever and get all the grease off, and I'm like, you're taking off the best part. You're pulling the flavor away. How would you dare? And so that, like, you see it just rubbing through. That's a flavor index right there. That's visible right there. So that's one thing that I really love. And there's a place in Houston called Bubba's Burger Shack, and it's literally just a shack under Interstate 59, under the little like overpass basically. And it's very small. You can fit like 10 people in there, and then they have picnic tables on the outside, but it's so greasy. Therefore, so good. And they pride themselves on having buffalo burgers, but I'm not a terribly large fan of buffalo burgers. If you are, that's cool. But their hamburgers are, no lie, some of the best that I've ever had. In my mouth, like I can feel my mouth watering right now just thinking about them. And on top of having delicious hamburgers with always perfectly greasy and perfectly melty cheese. Melty cheese is important. If it's too solid, then fuck them. I'm not there for that. Perfectly greasy, perfectly melty, perfectly topped. But they also serve Jones soda, which when I was in high school, I was absolutely obsessed with. I used to collect the labels on the Jones soda bottles because they had cool photographs that people would take and send in, and I would tear the labels off, and I had this big like mosaic of Jones labels. So I would go over there, like we'd go every couple months or something, my dad and I, and we'd just get a couple burgers, and I'd get a Jones green apple soda, and it is like toxic green colored, so you know it's good. And that's like, those are fantastic memories right there. So if you're ever in Houston for whatever reason, hit up Bubba's. I hope that you're not disappointed, to anyone who I'm saying this to, not only Jess, but I hope that you're not disappointed in my recommendation of Bubba's. It's not high end, but it's something. It's definitely something. I don't know. Do you have that kind of, that greaseball joint like that?
Well, Five Guys is pretty greasy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a local. We just got a couple of years ago. Shake Shack just showed up. They're not greasy. They're actually pretty good, and they've got good frozen custard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I can't think of a local burger joint. I mean, I'm going up and down through my area. We have a local hot dog joint that has awesome hot dogs. And Luis says there's a place called Junior's down where he lives in Florida that has a burger dog that has a burger and a hot dog on it that I want to try. But I can't think of a local burger really like what you're describing. In this area, all I can think of are chains. There's Bobby Flay has a burger place in DC. There's lots of, that's a sit down high end burger that you're going to pay 10 or 12 bucks for. Bobby Flay's Burgers. I can't think of what it's called. Bobby's Burgers, not Bob's Burgers, but it's but it's Bobby Flay's Burger Palace or something like that. And the burgers are good there. You can get them with potato chips on them if you want. That's near one of my doctor's office down in the district, Washington, D.C.
Talking about burgers. I need you to tell me about some burgers. We already talked about how much you love Whataburger and hate everything else.
That's the end of the conversation.
She said that's the end of the conversation. What are some burgers? Because I know we go to Phil's, and I haven't mentioned Phil's yet, and I know that we've been to Hop Dottie several times, and I haven't mentioned them either.
But I've never gotten burgers from those places.
Well, oh yeah, she can't eat burgers anymore because beef makes her really sick, and she really has to have like grass-fed, hormone-free, whatever beef. So I was hoping that Megan could remind me of some burgers.
Five Guys?
We talked about Five Guys too.
Yeah, there's a Smash Burger around here.
Smash Burger is good.
I haven't tried Smash Burger. There is one around here, and when I go out to California in July, I'm going to Habit Burger, and that's what James Dayrit says he prefers over In-N-Out. So I will go to Habit Burger and see what that's like.
There's so the couple things that I mentioned when she walked in. There's two joints here. I think both of them have multiple locations. So Phil's Ice House is preferable to me than the other restaurant I'm going to mention, and they're really great. You walk in, it's kind of looks like an older diner. Everything is mostly their burger names are either zip codes, like Austin zip code 78745, 78701, 78705, whatever, and or they're named for different other Texas or Austin things, and they have just really good beef, and they have great fries. They have great sweet potato fries. They also do and their onion rings are good too, but they also do fried green beans, which are really good as a side. Those are really good, surprisingly. And I think the last time we went, I had basically a breakfast burger that had bacon and egg and cheese or whatever. So just saying, the last time we went, I had like a breakfast burger with bacon and egg and stuff on it. That was really good. So Phil's Ice House. And then the other one I mentioned was Hop Dottie. And Hop Dottie is more the high-end Austin burger joint. That's the place where you're going to spend, $10 plus on your meal. And they have, truffle fries and stuff like that. So, that's the joint where you're going to be spending more money. And they also, like earlier when I mentioned P. Terry, they pride themselves on the higher end ingredients and stuff like that. And the problem that I have with a lot of places that I don't necessarily not like is that I'm a little disappointed because of the cost to quality ratio. And it's like with P. Terry, I'm like, I probably would like this if it was cheaper. And then the same thing with Hop Dottie. It's like, I like this, but I don't feel like I should be spending as much as I am. But it's such a popular place, and I feel like it's just kind of the cool place to go eat. Like if you want to go to an Austin burger joint, they're like, oh, go to Hop Dottie. And like, yeah, it's good, but honestly, more times than not, I'd rather just go to Whataburger, or if I'm looking to go to an actual restaurant, and just hit up Phil's, like I was talking about. But those are the joints that we've got around here. I know I've had thousands of burgers in my life from different places. But the last thing I wanted to ask was, what's the craziest burger that you've had?
I don't really go for crazy. Like crazy to me is having an egg on my burger. I just like a pretty simple burger. I've never had like Wendy's triple with cheese or anything, or a piece of chicken on my burger or something. The best thing I ever ate wasn't a burger, but it was that chicken and maple donut or whatever you and I got at that food truck that time. That was unbelievably good. God,
I feel like that couple days, every restaurant that we went to, it was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like every single thing was just exponentially a step up from the next. That I haven't been to Gordo's in a little bit, but yeah, that was some good shit. But I was gonna say the craziest thing I ever did on a burger is, I don't know, it might be a little bit tame, but probably crazy because it definitely would fuck up my arteries. Is I got a double with cheese from Whataburger, and then because Megan and I couldn't decide what we wanted to eat. This is before we got married, so she was just visiting at my parents' house, and my mom saw this and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So I got a double with cheese from Whataburger, and I split it open, and then I got a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, and we sandwiched the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich in between the Whataburger patties, and had this what a Chick-fil-A burger, or something like that is what we called it. We just chopped that in half and shared that because we couldn't make up our mind. Like we knew that we wanted either Whataburger or Chick-fil-A. We couldn't decide which, so we got both, and it was amazing.
It sounds good.
I've never done it again because I think that Megan has felt too much shame for actually having constructed such a monstrosity. And she's like, no, we can never go back. So one day, if I've got, the spare change and time, and I don't mind probably sitting on the toilet for a few hours later, I would like to do that again because that was an experience. And I do want to have a PB&J burger at some point. I'm going to throw that out there. I don't care what the haters say. Going to do it.
Well, you can be on the Halloween episode with me when Luis dresses up as Harley Quinn in full makeup, and my penalty is that I have to eat a PB&J burger. So
you're eating a PB&J burger, but you're adding like all the toppings, right?
Well, not too many. I think I'm going to put onions and pickles on it, but
okay.
Or maybe, I don't know. The penalty hasn't been created in full yet. I mean, I'd rather it just be a plain PB&J burger, but I think he wants me to have like mustard and onions and pickles on it too to make it extra disgusting.
See, that's what would set it out for me, because if it's just the beef patty and the buns and peanut butter and jelly, then fuck it, that's fine. I'm good with that. I mean, I've eaten a lot of Fat Elvises, and that's fruit, meat, and peanut butter.
Yeah.
I actually just had a Fat Elvis milkshake. That's what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about this place we stopped at in Waco, of all places, called Twisted Root, and I got the Cuban burger because Cuban sandwich is one of my top 5 sandwiches of all time, and that's a subject for another video. So one of my top 5 sandwiches of all time, and it's basically a Cuban burger or a Cuban sandwich made on a burger. So I got the burger, and it was fantastic. I had to make sure they cooked it medium instead of medium well, because medium well just chars it a little bit too much for me. But it was perfectly done. Everything was delicious. And the pickles at this joint, like, they have 5 different types of pickles. They have regular dill. They have like bread and butter. They have ranch pickles. And then they have sweet and spicy, which are a little bit spicy. And then they have atomic pickles, which are deliciously spicy. Like, atomic sounds like it would give you heartburn, but it was like just enough kick to really satisfy me. So that was a whole nother thing. And then the milkshake, the Fat Elvis milkshake, I was like, okay, cool. I like peanut butter. I like bacon. I like ice cream. I have enjoyed multiple times in my life bacon in my ice cream. And I like banana. And I know that I like a Fat Elvis. So let's just go ahead and put it in a freaking shake, and I'm going to drink it up. And they serve it to me. And I look over, and there's a wedge, like a sandwich wedge, on the side of the cup. And
it came with a Fat Elvis on it?
Yeah. Everyone looks over like, what is that? And I was like, what? And I pull it off, and I take a bite, and it's a Fat Elvis sandwich on the shake.
How'd you eat all that?
Very happily. So I had a hour and a half car ride, 2-hour car ride to digest it, so I was okay by the time we got back. But if you find yourself in Waco, I recommend Twisted Root. The Cuban sandwich was a sandwich of the month, so they always have a different burger every month. But their pickles are freaking great. The burger patties, the meat is great. So I highly recommend that. And I also recommend the Fat Elvis shake, because that's their signature shake. And that's why I got it. It was like in bold letters on the menu. I was like, I'm going to get that. So I recommend it. It was fantastic. That's my burger. I don't think I have anything else to say.
I do. Chase Chu brought up a good point about Ray's Hell Burger in Arlington. That's an awesome hamburger in Arlington. Big Bun's Damn Good Burgers. There's one in Shirlington and Arlington. Those are incredible. These are high-end sit-down burgers. Good Stuff Eatery. That's crazy good. Citizen Burger Bar. That is also a great sit-down, awesome burger. BGR, the burger joint. They also have fresh fruit milkshakes at BGR. Those are awesome, too. Yeah, Damn Good Burger is great. No, not Burger King. Big Buns, Damn Good Burger has these pillowy buns that are so nice. They're like straight from the Big Buns Bakery, like right next door to their hamburger restaurant. And you sit down, and it is the best burger. It is fantastic. And they have, I think they have Jones Soda on tap, including Jones Root Beer.
Oh my!
Which I happily got.
Jones Soda is my ish. I haven't had that in years, but man,
Trash.
get out of my face. I can't have Fufu Berry though because I'm allergic to something in it. So the Fufu Berry soda kind of sets me off.
I don't know that I've ever heard of Fufu Berry.
Well, whatever it is, I can't have it. It's good though. If I drink it, then I have an allergic reaction all up in my face. But that's all I got, and I got to go walk the dogs. So I'm gonna peace out. I appreciate the talk about burgers, and I guess I also appreciate the talk about comics too.
Right on, man. I'm signing off too. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you in the chat for following us tonight. Please subscribe, hit the like button, listen to us on iTunes podcast on your way to work, or on your way to a burger joint, or on your 2-hour ride to some comic book store to find an unknown treasure that's just waiting there for you, like Schrodinger's cat.
It both exists and does not exist at the comic shop right now.
Until you go in and find out. And InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions, 2 to 3% loyalty discounts, Omnibros Live discount every quarter. I don't know which quarter it's going to be happening, but soon, maybe July or August, maybe July. Over $50 in the United States gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com, our favorite place.
Awesome.
What are we listening to?
I have no idea. What are we listening to? Nothing, I guess.
Oh.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get out of here and walk the puppies, and I will see y'all later.
All right. Thanks, Riley. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Good night.